Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The Rangers take back the lead in the World Series, but at what cost? Back problems and Obliques gone. Baseball. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, where we will talk about the baseball that took place in the World Series. It's brought to you by SeatGeek. Code JOHNBOY postseason gets you 10% off tickets of your choice. You just got to go to the app or the website, figure out where you want to sit, purchase the tickets, use code JOHNBOY postseason. You get 10% off. Doesn't matter if you've used a code before. If you've purchased tickets before, you're going to get the 10% off. Rangers take game 3-1. Saw some ricochet shots and some kind of fun defensive plays early and a lot of good pitching. Trev, how are you?
James and my guy Jacob and BBD are doing great. Another, honestly, a great baseball game. A lot of interesting things happened today. I think you said it right. The Rangers win the game, but at what cost? Jake thinks there's some conspiracy theories going on with Scherzer. I don't know if we've got the official word on Adolis just yet, but a great game by them. But yeah, it's going to hurt going forward if you don't have that guy in the middle of your lineup. I'm excited to talk about it, though. Jake, how you doing?
Jimmy Two Shoes, Trevi with the nose, BB3. What's going on, everybody? The Roman nose hasn't been talked about in a minute.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, Jimmy No Shoes.
No shoes.
I'm doing all right, man. Obviously, I've become tied to these snakes in a way, and it was tough. I mean, game 3, the crowd was bopping, 5 p.m. Arizona time. The offense couldn't get going, and I mean, huge credit to John Gray, who has been lights out his past couple outings. I mean, postseason's become about momentum. That throw by Adolis, and then I think as a baseball fan, if you're not rooting for either party, you wanted a little more juice late. Didn't fully get it, but that's a credit to, again, the Rangers bullpen who put something together that's supposed to be their team's weakness. So, I don't know. It was a fun, quick game. I think the umpiring shined a little more than you'd like in a game of this magnitude, but the Rangers undefeated on the road, man. I mean, what world baseball history, 9 straight postseason wins.
You don't get ahead of yourself. You got to burn it.
I'll get in and then ahead and then burn.
You know, Trev's burning the whole place down.
I feel like I look like the quarterback from Little Giants on the bad team, on the Cowboys. Like I grew up, and this is what I look like.
That dude was like the coolest Spike. I mean,
no, the other one, the pretty. Oh no, wait, hold on. What am I thinking of? The quarterback of the Giants, maybe the pretty boy.
Oh,
ends up going for the other team, right?
The quarterback of the Giants. Well, he goes to the other team at the end, I think, right? He's
the blonde kid, right? Maybe I misremembered the whole movie. Maybe I just look like Al Bundy from that movie. That's
quarterback of the other team looks kind of like Jake.
Okay.
But like the middle part, long hair, I think.
Trev, your mold came back.
That's not mine, and you know it.
I do know
You've seen it.
Let's burn it before we talk about Little Giants anymore.
I'm talking about Little Giants only now.
I don't think we even know the movie, but we know Game 3 is at the Iron Bank in Phoenix. Old man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Max Scherzer with a TBT against his Snakes, while Brandon would hope to be too Pfaadt to handle for Texas. Bottom 2, Christian Skywalker uses the force with a double to break out of his slump, but he is cut down by Texas's Lord Vader. Garcia with the cannon keeps it at zeros until Marcus puts one simmy in play for a 2-out RBI single, and then Corey, see you in hell. Seager with the 2-run ding-dong. It's 3-0 Tejas. It'd stay that way into the 8th. Scherzer maxed out before his bat gave way. John was black and white, no gray, baby. Into the 8th, and it's the Aroldis Chapman experience. Can I have a glass of your finest Perdomo? Geraldo singles, but double play, and the clerk will check you out this way. Scherzer, Gray, Spores, Chapman, Leclerc. Texas takes Game 3, a 3-1 final.
Devin Sawa is the kid you're thinking of. Total heartthrob. He was the blonde kid. He was in Cruel Intentions. Maybe you're thinking of that phase of his days. Yeah.
That was a spicy movie for a young Trev. Tell you that much.
Yeah, that was a DVD I ran. I put that one in. I skipped to some scenes and I took it out.
Let's go, Buffy. Let's go.
Scherzer got hurt, and he had one of the more hilarious, like, I'm going to walk on the field and be hurt poses I've seen. Look straight out of a Now You Should Leave sketch. Well, I'm hurt. Chris Young from the suite was like, get him out.
Yeah, if you're hurt, get out of there. That's exactly what CY was thinking. I'm curious. I wonder what that felt like. Was it like did he compress something? Was there sharp pain? Was it dull pain?
He's a walking injury. All-time great, Hall of Famer, currently a walking injury.
I told Jake, I said, the third inning of this game was nuts. The top of the third inning might have been the luckiest inning ever in a postseason game for the defense, because you have Christian Walker. I mean, are we getting into this right now? Christian Walker. It was the Simeon versus Walker who could get right show today. They both kind of did. Walker gets on, hits a double, and then just like little leagues it around third base, doesn't pick up his coach whatsoever. They showed the replay like a half inning later. Didn't even just head down, and all of a sudden you get thrown out. Then you get the ground ball off Scherzer's back, and it's Corbin Carroll, mind you, running, who, like, if you don't hit the ball and it ricochets off someone, it doesn't go right to somebody else, like, he's not going to be out, but it goes right to Josh Young, and all of a sudden they're out of this inning with no runs scored. And you have to feel like, if you're the Diamondbacks at that point, like, what the hell just happened? Like, we did everything right except, well, our running wasn't good. But you get nothing from then, and then you come and the Rangers put up 3 runs in the bottom of the third. Kind of live and die by the homer. You get Simeon going a little bit. That's the inning from hell if you're the D-backs. Jake?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of... There's some regret there. I mean, the off the elbow ball. I mean, what do you do?
I'm sorry. It was Alec Thomas. I keep saying Carroll. It was Alec Thomas who hit the ball off Scherzer's back.
Similar speed, and has been a postseason guy for the Snakes. Yeah, I mean, that elbow ball, what do you do? But I think that hurt less than Christian Walker. Like, he gets the double. We heard from Dalton, who was going to the game, the Snakes fans planned a standing ovation for Walker, a la Trey Turner and the Phillies, to try to spark him. A little high risk, high reward. If that works out, it's cool. If it doesn't, it's kind of like, whoa, JV copycat team. Kind of works. Hits a double in the gap, and you're like, okay, the guy in our middle of the lineup, our first baseman, our Gold Glover, our guy, maybe he's back in this series. And he's one of the first basemen that does have a little bit of speed. The problem is, it's no outs, and it's hit to the bad man. Adolis Garcia, the guy who has the most outfield assists in the past 2 years. You cannot go on that. The throw happens before he's at third. Christian Walker doesn't look at the third base coach because he's high on life, because he just got a little standing ovation and a double to break out of a slump. And even then, I'm sorry to my third base coach, not that you were really involved. He's giving him the go and throws up the stop a little too late. If you're going to be doing that, you got to get in Christian Walker's face earlier. And I think that changed everything. It would have been first and third, no outs. So, there's luck. And that ball off Scherzer's elbow, I mean, that ends up being unlucky, right? Like, that is what it is. But in a way, you create your own luck. And, not to be too Batman when I say that, but, that first and third, going from first and third, no out, Scherzer on the ropes, to out at home plate, runner on first.
Were you pinning it on the coach there?
No, I put it 98% on Walker because he never looked at the coach. Yeah. There's 2% on the coach because he was giving him the hell yeah, and then he tries to throw up the stop. It's way too late, and Walker never looked.
He looked, and then he didn't look when he touched third.
I mean, before third, he stopped looking.
No, they showed him see the go, and then they were talking about on the broadcast how you're supposed to look twice after you touch third. You're supposed to look up again. I don't know, Trev, you're the big leaguer here, but that's what Schmaltzy was saying, that once you touch third, you're supposed to see it again, and there's a second sign. And he didn't look up after touching third, only before touching third. That's what they said on the broadcast. I don't know the rules about it.
I think you see the initial go sign, and then he knows I got to freaking hustle. He knows who's throwing the ball out there in the outfield. So you think you have to hustle. You put your head down. Typically, then you could hear the third base coach saying, "Oh, no." But, in a playoff game, playoff atmosphere, you probably can't hear him. And if you've made your mind up, I have to hustle to get home, you end up putting your head down. It's not a great play by him. I don't think it ended up.
He put his hand up in the dugout.
He did.
And Torey Lovullo said accountability is our culture. So
it's good. I mean, look, it wasn't a good base running play. There's no sugarcoating it. It was a bad base running play. It ended up costing them. They could have, you get the early lead. I mean, how often have we seen early leads hold in this postseason? And instead, you have no runs, and then what happens the next inning? You get low with the nice hustle double. Jake is not happy with that at bat.
They struck out.
He struck out once, apparently. He said twice, according to Jake, but the game day has it as once. The eighth pitch is a little out there, but he gets on Simeon, who has been not great during the postseason, gets that knock, 1-0, and then Seager, the game-winning hit. Live and die by the long ball. The Rangers have been doing it, all postseason long, and they did it again. Seager, what ended up being the dagger, you didn't think about it at the time, but that's how quickly this game went.
Yeah. Seager getting a changeup was fun for me because he's on the fastball now, but Pfaadt opened him up off speed, and they're talking about, they think he's blah, 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 blah. Next at bat, is it first pitch changeup? Yeah, I think it was first pitch changeup, and he crushes it. So Seager might be sitting change at this point, or all right, you want to throw off speed? I can hit that too now. So he's kind of fully out of his slump. And if Garcia's out, maybe I tweeted it before even Garcia got hurt. I was like, oh, Seager might carry this thing, or he might go crazy if he's hitting off speed pitches as well.
The other storyline of this game was Pfaadt versus Scherzer, and who was going to be better, the Cy Young Hall of Famer or the rookie? And I don't know
question. Gray.
Yeah, Gray comes in and saves the day. Scherzer was looking pretty good, and Pfaadt actually had another really good outing.
I don't think Scherzer was looking that good. He got pretty lucky.
He had some luck, but who knows if he would have settled down or whatever it was, but Pfaadt hit the end line, 5 1/3, 3 earned runs. Doesn't look great, but I thought again he looked like this is a guy you can trust now in the postseason. I mean, you work your way into the 6th inning. That's not Torey Lovullo keeps saying 18 outs, give or take 4, and Pfaadt's been giving him more, or at least a chance to do more. So
yeah, I don't think Pfaadt gets blamed for the loss at all.
Or 14 outs, give or take more. I don't know what he keeps saying. He keeps saying this one dang thing.
I think at first I was giving Gray a ton of credit, which I am still, but wow, he comes in, he doesn't. Then he didn't know he was going to come in that early, or then I realized he probably did. I don't know, you got to kind of prep for Scherzer not to be in the game that long.
But Gray shouldn't. Listen to Jake. Let me give my take. Gray wasn't preparing right there, but according to Jake, maybe there was something else going on.
I just said I think Gray was more in play tonight than we think, and you poo-pooed that before the episode because John Gray was announced as the Game 4 starter.
That's not what you said, by the way. I love you.
What did I say, Trev? I'd love to hear what I said.
I said, have we gotten confirmation on Scherzer, what was going on? And you said, I don't know, have we? And I go, what does that mean? And you said, I think it's a little fishy. Gray was ready to come in very quickly. You made it seem like it was staged, and Gray was like the fucking rabbit out of the hat.
I don't think the
Hello?
Scherzer injury was staged. I think John Gray being able to pitch tonight was staged.
You think the announcement of the game 4 was all farce?
I think that was a little bit of gamesmanship. Scherzer goes out with injury. Gray's the first person tab to go in, which Trevor, I mean, you know how soft pitchers are. We both do. If John Gray was really teed up to start game 4, do you think he would be the guy they tap on the shoulder first with Scherzer going 3 innings? Which, by the way, if the over-under on Scherzer in this game, probably would have been right around 3 innings, right? So, I don't know. I'm not saying funny business or not, but either way, it ends up being the right move because John Gray, this time out and his last time out, has kind of been the most dominant pitcher we've seen for the Texas Rangers. And I thought it became an interesting how long Bochy was going to go with him because he was cruising. And it ends up working out, although Chappie made it a little scary as is his new signature move going from the scariest, most feared reliever all time to now a survival tightrope act. Wild sport.
While throwing like the same pitches, like he still throws 100 miles an hour with like nasty pitches, but it always is an adventure with him.
That's the best I think Chapman's looked this postseason. I mean, I don't know how much that's saying, but his at-bat against Corbin Carroll was awesome. He dotted some fastballs. Carroll took some weird swings. When he doesn't put the ball in play, sometimes they look odd. And then he totally fooled him with that slider.
That was nasty. I always love that. I mean, there wasn't a lot. Like there was the 3-run inning in the third. Then after that, there were some quick innings. And then you have the game. I mean, not gamesmanship, but you have Pavin Smith coming in to hit. Then they announced Chapman. So they switched to Rivera. And Rivera does a great job doubling down the right field line. And you're like, okay. Single by Perdomo. Okay. And then he locks it down. I mean, Carroll, you just talked about that curveball was nasty, dude. The slider, whatever, the breaking pitch was filthy. And then a great play by Seager to get Marte. I mean, to roll these guys up, like it's got to be the right ball. You have to, every transfer has to be perfect. And I mean, a double play right there is massive. It's kind
How
of
about Perdomo getting a hit?
Perdomo's
getting inside those fastballs. That was wild.
He's having a nice postseason, man. 295 batting average. He runs it up to sack bunt a lot, but when it's not there, he puts an at bat together.
Jacob, you wanted to talk about like bad pitches and all that stuff. The Marte grounding into double play, that was tough for them, but then they get in, the clerk's in there, and 3-0 count to Moreno. He gets it to 3-1. I believe it was like a cutter or a slider off the plate.
Little slide piece. I mean,
off the plate 3-1. He walks halfway down the freaking baseline because he walked.
I don't.
Well, yeah,
I don't mind that at all. Yeah, the second pitch was completely missed. Marquez had a tough game behind the dish. I don't mind that at all. Not nearly as much as the Nate Lowe at bat. I mean, Nathaniel Lowe struck out twice.
What other pitch do you have? I've been looking at it. There was one. There was one for sure.
The eighth.
He thinks the eighth pitch was on the. It was a 4-seam away, a little off, but it was close.
I have it a little on myself. I mean, that turns into a leadoff double instead of a leadoff strikeout, and that's the only inning the Texas Rangers scored. That's Marcus Semien with 2 outs, which leads to the Seager, that inside changeup that Pfaadt yanks that speeds up his bat. I mean, I don't know. You can never predict the course of a baseball game and a little bit of wiggle that the umps give here and there, but that felt like a difference maker to me.
I think the storyline of the umps is there for sure, not specifically changing the games, because this one was even. Like, they had missed calls both ways this whole game. Castro had like a pitch called a strike way outside. Pfaadt had some pitch called strikes outside. It was I tweeted out a picture of it. I was going through it. It was pretty even. Yesterday, the stakes got favored by the ump, who was just as bad. I think the umpires are a conversation on a bigger scale.
Yes.
They've been awful all postseason at balls and strikes, when last year they were really good in the postseason. And I was reading articles about it. I wish I had the data, but like Quincy, no, he's the best last year. Yet yesterday's game, you had whatever his name is, Quincy Alcott. What's his name?
Walcott.
Like yeah. He's like the best ball and strike caller. He had his third worst game of the season in the World Series, so that's tough. But before that, you had the 67th out of 70th at calling balls and strikes. What's he doing calling a World Series game? Get your act together, MLB. And then he put on a horrendous display. So I don't think it's altered the outcome of the games and favoring one team over another team or anything like that, but I just think it's a bad look when you should have your best umps calling balls and strikes in the World Series.
Dude, it's the seniority bullshit. Like all the good guys that are good at balls and strike are young, but like they're not going to get these games because there's the seniority stuff. It's the MLB UA, is that what it is? What's going on with that? We need to like look into the power they have and figure some stuff out because we need the best umpires in these games. Like we shouldn't be talking about any umpire right now. Like we just
Quinn Walcott, sorry. That's his name. Quinn Walcott. Took a ball right to the face. So did the ump today. And in between all the innings, they're running like, if you get hit in the head and have a concussion, take care of yourself. Meanwhile, the umps are getting dinged up every night.
I don't know what else there is from this game. Sports had a really nice strikeout of Thomas on a curveball. I mean, there were some good pitches made, but there wasn't a ton of action.
Did Sports come out with injury?
He pitched through it. They checked on his lower.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He was like hanging over his back or something like that. But
so the biggest thing in conversation moving forward is Garcia.
Yes.
Like, is he out? Is that
it's an oblique? Yeah, he's out.
It looked like an oblique, but I'm not a doctor. But from guy swinging and grabbing that usually is oblique, which is usually out for like 6 weeks. Trev, happened to you?
Yeah, I mean he's not going to play again in this postseason if it's an oblique. I mean, you just can't. I mean, shoot, I don't know. Like, I don't know what you could shoot it up with. Baseball really doesn't do that anymore. There's no Toradol shots, really. I don't know what you could even do for an oblique because it just hurts so much to do anything. If it's that, he's not going to play anymore. I mean, there's just.
And what's the move then? What's the move then for the Rangers? Jankowski?
They can bring someone off the roster that's traveling with them. I don't exactly know who they have.
Rangers fans, what would the move be? Who would get all the starts?
I see Backyard Brad in the dugout, but I think he's hurt.
Yeah. I think their bench is Jankowski, Grossman, Smith, Hedges.
Duran could get the roster spot. Looks like Backyard Brad's hurt.
So maybe Grossman comes on and you have him playing maybe left field and Carter goes to right field. Maybe that's what it is. And then they have Garver DH and they don't have, seems like probably the move. Grossman will probably be hitting third for them because that's just like the Rangers have been doing that a lot.
Why not?
Be interesting.
That's probably what'll happen.
Be interesting the Jankowski Grossman decision because Jankowski, there's times this year he batted second for them. He's had a couple good swings this postseason where Robbie's kind of been their platoon lefty, but the Snakes only have lefties in their bullpen. It's going to be interesting to see where Boch goes with that if he has to go somewhere, which the way Adolis came off, you'd have to assume.
Yeah, and
who's on the bump tomorrow?
Switch, isn't he?
Yeah, Gross didn't switch.
Yeah. Lists Ryan Nelson. I mean, it's essentially a bullpen day, and it lists John Gray for Texas. So
you saw Martin Perez. If you have him go a little bit, try to get him once through the order or something like that. But I'm assuming it's going to be bullpen, which is favors the D-backs in that regard. Their A bullpen is rested now.
Heaney and Dunning can only throw 6 and 9 pitches each. Bullpen game. What are we doing?
Did this used to happen in like World Series back when?
No, they had starters then.
Now everybody has 2 starters that they rely on. A third guy is like, fuck, we don't know. And then the fourth game is a bullpen game. That's like, it's crazy how fast that's happened in the big leagues.
Used to have 4 guys throw 200 innings.
Yeah. Bullpen game.
Well, Manfred says that's what they want to bring back. So, and I'm best friends. Manfred, I want to let you know this. We're friends, okay, bro? Like, let's just be friends.
He's just like you.
Majority of people agree with Manfred that, like, a starting pitching matchup is the most appetizing thing.
Yes.
Do we have to do any DraftKings?
When you talk about the most appetizing thing, you're talking about placing a $5 bet and getting $200 instantly in bonus bets at the DraftKings Sportsbook. So what are you waiting for? We're doing it on our live streams a little bit. We're having some fun. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TALK, and new customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on baseball only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code TALK, and the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles, 21 plus, ages vary by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. See dkng.co/baseball for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility, deposit restrictions apply.
Does it feel like this series hasn't started to you guys? Feels like it's going 7 to me.
I don't know, man.
It feels like we're gonna get Gallon, Evaldi, and Kelly, Monty again, and that's when the series kicks off. I think the D-backs win tomorrow, and we're just like, all right, now it's fun.
I mean, I'd be down for a long series. The Snakes essentially won the first 2 games. I mean, that the homer to tie, the homer to win, that's just like, you got to just tip your hat there. But you gave your closer a 2-run lead and he blew it. But you played great baseball there. Texas winning that game, I mean, that obviously changed everything. I guess tomorrow's a huge swing game. They say the team that wins game 3 in a 1-1 set wins 69% of that series. So
if Dolly Garcia is out, does Seager see a pitch to hit?
No.
I mean, Evan Carter's still doing it, guys. He's still doing it. He went 2 for 3 again tonight. He's batting .333 with a 1 daughter in the postseason. This guy's 21 years old. It's a joke.
Well,
you put the pressure
no, he
on
doesn't.
him.
But no,
Okay, but
not
no,
tomorrow.
Either way, no. And I think you're going to see a heavy dose of the D-backs lefties. They've got 3 lefties out of their pen. If they're bullpen it, ideally in a Snakes world, those lefties are going to see 2 lefties, Ginkel and Seawald, or 3 lefties and Ginkel. Like, you can't let Seager beat you tomorrow. And yeah, Jim, I hope you're right. Because if Texas wins tomorrow, that's gonna hurt, because that's gonna be 10 straight playoff games on the road with 1 more to play with Poppy in the pool. That I don't like that formula.
They're calling it side tightness with Adolis.
Same.
Sounds like Oblique.
That's where your oblique is, yeah. Like around here.
He's got lower limb break. That's what they said when Voit broke his foot. So, happy Halloween in 4 minutes to everyone, and thank you for listening. And tell us why the Diamondbacks are going to win the bullpen game. Bullpen game, boring. I hope the Diamondbacks win, and when we just get a 3-game set with starting pitchers back on the table. Give me that.
Bullpen games could be fun. You don't know.
They can be fun when you're watching them.
Who would start Game 7 for Texas?
But as a fan who wants to like daydream about shit and like it's like for Texas, Game 7,
Trev might be volunteering.
Play for the Yankees now.
Clean shave Yankee Trev.
You look like a bad guy.
Yeah.